What's up, guys? We're back at the shop today. We are finally working on Bowser again. I'm sorry for the little bit of a break. Life's kind of gotten rough here a little recently, so took a little break from the YouTube channel to kind of straighten some things out. But now that we got all straightened out, I can get back to working on the cars. So Bowser, Prowler, and I got another one to introduce to y'all. It's gonna be the big rig to tow all these cars with, and I'll introduce that into a later video. But enough of me speaking at y'all. Want to see the car, so let's get back at it. Pretty much where we left off is I just had the cage kind of tacked in. I was still working on this bar right here whenever I took a break on the car, but the plans have changed for the car and I gotta put a bigger transmission in now. So I'm gonna be cutting out the rest of the tunnel today. That's kind of the goal, just get the tunnel out of it, and then I'm gonna go underneath the car, get rid of the exhaust, and the drive shaft's actually still in this car somehow. So we're gonna get those all out today, and that's really the main goal of this video. And then after that, I'll keep on building on the car and getting ready. But when the plans are kind of final, I'll release them about what new engine's going in Bowser, as well as the transmission. Well, the transmission I can kind of already tell, because it's gonna be a turbo 350 transmission. I have it just sitting around back at the house, so I already have that, so I know that one's a for sure thing. But we're gonna be changing up the engine combination to where I was planning on using, but I'll let that go whenever I finally get to that date. But enough of the talking, let's get back to work. Now we got the main section out of the tunnel. I'll trim it more once I get the transmission kind of mocked up in here. I'll start trimming more and more as I go, but for right now it's as far as I'm gonna go. So now onto the exhaust. I got one side off. So I'm having to cut them because the car just sits too low and I don't have a lift here to be able to get the car high enough to kind of get the angles that it needs to get out. So I'm just having to cut them off, which didn't want to do. Kind of wanted to save them, see if anybody would buy them off it for this car. I know some people are really big on the keeping things all original, but I had a last resort, just having to cut them off. Well, it's officially out. Got the full exhaust system out. There's the piece I cut out of the tunnel, and I even got the old drive shaft out. So you got it kind of piled up already, but say we got all that out. So now it's on to the heater core, and then might be done for the day. We'll see. Since the car is a drag car, we're really not going to need the heater core in it, so I'm just going to pretty much rip all that out and put a plate system that covers the big hole that it has, and that'll pretty much be the end of that. Just gotta take out the bolts to it and we'll rip it out, and I'm guaranteed this is gonna be a pain, but we'll see how it goes. Well, we haven't got it out yet because there's two bolts that are hidden way back underneath up there. So I had to take the whole inner fender well out, which I was planning on doing that anyways, but man, that was a hassle, and I didn't film most of it because there's choice words that weren't video friendly most of the time, and that whole project of just taking that off with rusted bolts, snapping bolts, just wasn't a fun time. But we'll come back to this tomorrow, and I'll do a kind of, I guess, part 2 on this of getting the second inner fender well out and then getting that out, and then I can start slowly pulling all the harness and everything out of this car to start getting it prepped to paint the engine bay. And then once it's painted, then we'll set the engine in, which before I do that, I'll do a little bit of an intro video on the engine, and then we'll throw her in there, and hopefully by the end of the winter this car will be running and driving on its own, and we can take it to the strip and start seeing what some times it can have. Tomorrow's my goal is the inner fender well, the heater core, and then we're going to start working on the cage again. And then after that, it's start finding a seat to mount, or seat mounts for it, and then we'll just build the cage around the seat, and then after that we'll be ready to roll. But thanks again for watching another video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.